Everyone, we are turning up the brutality here tonight with San Antonio fucking hardcore. Yes, the band Fortunes that you've heard me talk about for weeks and weeks is finally here on the big program. Brings me great pleasure to welcome all the fellas in the band. It's a beautiful thing when I have all the fellas in the band. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Man, we're glad to be here. It's just like, something great, with your history of what you do. For us to be here, it's awesome. We're just happy. Really.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the crazy circumstances that led to tonight. But before we get started, let me thank you guys for bringing me all this kick-ass beer, too. God, I'm a beer drinker, and I love the cucumber beer, so thank you again.
Definitely shout out to Abyssal Layer, man.
Abyssal Layer!
It's fire. It's metal for sure, man. The beer, it was awesome. It just had that nice cucumber taste for sure. Really refreshing.
Yeah. Pricey, but good enough for us.
You gotta support the homies, man. Always gotta support the homies.
Yeah. So there's people who watch our program from all over the country and the world. So let's first talk about the beginnings of Fortunes, and even before we talk about the beginnings of Fortunes, we have to give props to Julian Cruz, who is a local promoter. He was the guy who put your music in on my desk, and it was he who put Eternal Hustle on my radar. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh God, this is so cool, because I get inundated with stuff sometimes, and I don't have a proper opportunity to hear everything. But Julian's a cool dude, and I wanted to hear what he was delivering, and I figured if he's delivering it to me, it must be fucking cool, and it was, man. So I'm like, man, I don't even know about this band. I'm not following them, and this is super cool. I said I knew right away that I had to work with you guys. So for those people out there who don't know anything about Fortunes, share a little bit of the early beginnings.
So first off, shout out to Julian. He's a big supporter of the scene. There's, we need more people like him. Definitely. This scene, you need supporters. There's always musicians, but you need people to support it as well. And he books shows and gives people opportunities, and shout out to him. But as far as Fortune's beginnings go, it started about 2012. There's a local band that pretty much made it here called Upon a Burning Body. He was the original guitarist, Ray. He played bass later on when they were signed and everything. The bassist from Blood of Our Enemies actually contacted me, and he was like, hey man, we're jamming. Our vocalist at the time really wasn't working out. They hadn't played any shows or anything, and he was like, we want you to come in and jam and see what you got. And I had just quit, I think it was like a couple of bands that I'd been in. And so I took the opportunity. To me it was like, Ray's been there, done it, you know what I mean? So it's like it was time to try it out, knock the dust back off my boots and get back in the game. And it was actually really nice because, we just took off, you know what I mean? And it was cool to be in a band with people who had the same likeness. And basically we brought Travis in because our bassist at the time left to the Army. So we might not all be original members, but nobody got to see the band live. We're the first original live members, you know what I mean? So I might not be the original vocalist to this band, but it's become my baby. It's become, what I fight for, what I thrive for.
Yeah. The band name is always bigger than the individuals within. And I always think even Upon a Burning Body has gone through evolutions in band members. And all bands do that. I mean, we go through that in relationships throughout life too. And eventually you kind of come to that point where we got a good band now. People who share the same vision, who can contribute the same amount of time and effort into the band and really contribute. And I think that's what's really happening now with Fortunes. So I don't often use the word hardcore when I fucking interview bands. I can't recall when I had a hardcore band or a metallic hardcore band on the show. And me, I've always been a fan of hardcore. I love Hatebreed. I love fucking Propane. I love all that shit. It's kind of simple, but fuck, man, you can rock out to it. So, was that always the vision for Fortunes, to be the hardcore front?
So like, me personally, like we all love metal and we all love hardcore, so we wanted to find a way to get both of them and put them together, but not too much of one and not in like less of another. We wanted to have the perfect amount and add that groove to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one of our problems though, I will say with us doing that is we were playing in front of metal people and we're too hardcore. We play in front of hardcore people and we're too metal. But at the end of the day, we give enough of both. We like to mash it together and do our own thing, really, because we all have love for hardcore and metal. We all come from metal and trended into hardcore. You know what I mean? You always got to stick to your roots. You know what I mean? You really do. You really do.
I remember, Steve, you were here the other night when we were doing the Cerebral interview, and you know, off camera and late into the night, we were talking about that. And you were telling me, Rob, I remember back in the day, like it was hard for us to kind of, because we're a hardcore band, it was hard to do shows with metal bands because they were like not into it. But now things are different.
It's definitely changed. Even as like, I remember like, you know, 2005, 2006, you know, it was different. Metal and hardcore was like, it was new. I mean, it's been around, but at least to the mainstream audience, it was a little new. So, you know, you had your metalheads who didn't really accept it. They didn't like the hardcore dancing. They make fun of it and everything. And, you know, there was always conflict there. You know, but now he's knocked out a few people. You know what I'm saying? We had to protect ourselves. He really did.
No, not you, Kike.
But, you know, it's come full...
I saw all these flacos last night at the Life Cycle show. They were, like, dancing and shit. I was like, man... If there were some big boys around you, you'd be dead.
Yeah, definitely. But I see it's come full circle now. I feel like hardcore has become more of, I guess, into the mainstream. Yeah. And I feel like now it shows you can have metal bands and hardcore bands and there's no issues. You know what I mean? It's all unity because it's just become one.
I've always kind of been, I've always kind of felt that same feeling too, because like I can listen to anything. Like, you know, I can listen to Dimmu Borgir and then listen to Sick of It All. You know, I love it all, man. I love it all. True metal fans do. So let's get into the EP that came out on May 2nd. For some of you people out there who have not yet grabbed it, look for the new EP from Fortunes. It is called Eternal Hustle. Came out on May the 2nd. 6 killer tracks. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about these songs. Travis, can you share a little bit about what was the kind of vibe going into the recording of these songs? What did you want to do?
Yeah, we recorded these songs when?
2015?
2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a long story. It's a little
long
bit of a
story. I was not the original guitar player. I used to play bass for them.
Original
bass for them. We actually had 2 other guitar players record.
Lando and Buck, shout out to them.
Lando and Buck, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know how fluid like things like this can be, and
we ended up breaking up and getting back together.
Yeah, so basically, like it was like 2015, and we recorded with Corey Brenneman. Yeah. But at the same time, we were kind of going through our different ways, and things were kind of falling apart. So we finished the recording, but we never finished paying him. And then we disbanded, and it just was nothing. But here with this pandemic, you know, there hasn't been a lot of positives in this pandemic. But the actual positives to this was that he made a post of an old recording that we did that, you know, with him that day. And I told him, too bad we didn't get to release those songs. So he's like, messages me, hits me up, and he's like, hey, bro, we're going to release those songs. You know, we worked out a deal of him remixing and remastering it. We paid him. And we got it done. And I think the best thing about it is that when we created this music, we didn't create it for a trend. We created it for the love of music that we have for ourselves. And I think because of that, because it wasn't a trend, because trends die, it still resonates today in 2020.
Yeah.
It still resonates with what we're trying to do. And, you know, that's what I love about real music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make music for a trend, but trends always die. But when you make real music, it lasts forever. And that's what we were really trying to accomplish, was just something that's going to resonate with the city and with the world, really.
I think, too, like, not just the brutality of Fortunes, but also kind of like the lyrical content. I think, when I listen to your record, it's like, it's for the people who like struggle. Like we are like struggling to survive in this society. And, like and most of that, I mean, I think stems from like economical challenges. It's like, we struggle to survive. We want nice things for our kids. We want to live in a nice home. We want to be successful, but it's so challenging just because of all the systems in place and the infrastructure in place. And then when I hear when I hear a song like, Reality Check, that makes me think about that. It's a very, I used the word I remember one of my posts, I put hood-like fucking like mentality. Like you have to be down there to really feel this record, and there's a lot of people who are down there.
Definitely, like we all come from lower class inner city families, you know what I mean? We've all been through the struggle. We've all, not been able to eat, and like there's a way out. And we all have dreams and hopes, and like all we want to do is just make people understand that you can do it. If simple people like us can be successful, then anybody can do it. I just want to motivate people, you know what I mean? Like to chase their dreams, because you might not think you're capable, but man, anything is possible, man. And we all come from pain, you know what I mean? Like we all come from struggle. Scars. Yeah, exactly. And that's what drives us. That's what puts the hustle in us, because it's like, we don't have nothing to lose, man. What do we have to lose? Put it all on the line. Let's go. Everything we do, we put our heart into this. We put our soul into this. It means a lot to us, because I want people not to feel alone. Everyone's been through the struggle, but some people feel like they're the only ones. But you know what? I want to be able to have my platform and be able to tell them, you're not the only one. And just because you come from a lower class system doesn't mean that you can't make it out. If I can make it out, or we can come up a little bit, anybody can.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Steve-O. That's awesome, man. I think people need to hear that because it can be consuming. I think there's people out there who don't deal well, and then you hear about people, It makes you bitter and resentful. Yeah. Makes you resentful, and then you just fucking want to. People kill themselves and shit.
People in our situation, I feel bad because they get to that point. You know what I mean? But I feel like music has helped me from not getting to that point. I'm pretty sure it's helped y'all not to feel that. Like
Kike is always happy.
Yeah, Kike is happy. But it's really helped us all.
Love you too.
One thing about us is.
I wish you drank. I would give you lots of shots.
I think one thing about us. No, it's all good. One thing about us is just like music is what got us away from feeling that struggle. You know what I mean?
It's a release.
Yeah, it is. It's really a release, and this band really became our lives at one point. You know what I mean? Like life might have been bad and the band was doing good, but we fought through it. I mean, you could tell him, Travis, you were sleeping. He was sleeping in the van.
Tell me.
Yeah, man. Like we went through a lot of shit too before. All of us, right? When we were touring before.
Like what?
I don't know. Like our lives, right? Like our lives were fucked, but we're still.
The cars that we were driving to get to shows, I work on cars too, so I remember I did a transmission on our van because it went bad, and then we couldn't do it. couldn't finish it, so we limped half of the tour. But yeah,
God.
We used to struggle to make it happen. This is a true story.
Man, that's this guy. Still a flat solo. We got a flat going to where?
It was Laredo.
Laredo.
Yeah, I saw you play Laredo.
We got a flat going there, and then everything.
The trailer or the van?
No,
the van.
We had all our stuff in the van.
The van.
The tire blew out, and then it was like
no spare.
There was
No
spare.
No spare.
And it was Sunday night, so there was no tire shops. I know it was Saturday night, and there was no tire shops
open.
open.
On tour with no spare?
Because we're from the hood, bro.
We couldn't afford one.
We were hoping.
Hey,
That's the answer. We couldn't afford it.
we get the chance to go, we're going, we're gonna make it happen. That's what this band is about. It's just we might not have what everybody else has, like as far as like their parents supporting them, buying them equipment. We didn't have that. We just found a way to fucking make it happen.
That's great.
And that's what this band is the eternal hustle. Is like getting to a point of no matter what you want, just do it.
We also found a tire that fit our van.
Yeah, so it was really late. We couldn't find any hotels to stay in, and we pretty much went and found a tire that would fit, a ribbon tire that would fit our van. And
Same van.
but it wasn't like we stole someone's. I mean, like it just found it. Like
You just found it. Bullshit, Kike.
but it was a junkyard. You know what I mean? It's just like no.
You guys are hood. Y'all probably fucking stole that tire.
We left it on the floor.
Crime Watchers is watching.
Yeah, the impactors.
But
Hey, you know what? Fuck Laredo.
hey, they got good food though.
Laredo's tight as fuck.
It's crazy. The way everything worked out that night, it was just like we had nowhere to stay. We were gonna stay in the Walmart parking lot. It was hot as shit, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, there's a junkyard right there. And then
Crime.
it was just ridiculous. Like,
Just gotta make it happen.
Fuck it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Now, let's move on. I think it's kind of cool because I remember when I found out about the record and was really digging it that you guys had a deal with Good Junkie Records. Talk a little bit about how that kind of transpired.
So it's not necessarily a record deal. It's just kind of an agreement. He's gonna release the album. Kyle Kostanovich, he's from Austin. Really good dude. He's put out a
Distribute it.
distribution for us.
Yeah.
So like we didn't really sign to a label, but he helped us put it out. We're gonna hopefully pretty soon we'll probably put it out on vinyl and stuff like that. But he's got a lot of good bands under his label right now that he's putting out, and I just thought it as an opportunity. I hit him up. I was like, hey, bro, check this out. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? You think you could back us? And he fucking loved it. And he was all about it. And he's helped us a lot, man. And Kyle's really got us out there as far as more than what we could do. You know what I mean? And I really like Kyle because, like, he really enjoys our music. And it's not very often that you can work with somebody who really cares about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you have to have people who believe in the music. I mean, if you're just if you listen to something and you dig it, then you gotta just support it. I mean, that's why you're here on Rob's. I fucking love your record. I'm a fan. I'm a fucking fan of your band. That's why you're here.
It's crazy to hear.
What?
Like, it's crazy to hear from you because I've watched the
watched the
shows
show, yeah,
and like
when we were
I
kids.
remember being in middle school and I'm just like watching you now. I'm like,
You're making me feel old, Kike.
What's that public access?
I'm only 58.
it's like whoa.
Learning new
Like,
bands and shit.
It is crazy though. It's humbling, really. It is because, as a kid when I was 15 and I first started jamming, it was like, I want to be on Rob's. You know what I mean? Like I want to be that dude, and here I am. You know what I'm saying?
It's because you guys are finally getting fucking good at what you do. Like, believe it or not, I get shit from a lot of young cats, like in their early 20s and shit. And like, oh, Rob, check us out. We want you to interview us. I'm like, dude, you're not ready. You're not ready for Rob's yet. And I was telling, I think Joseph, when you guys were out in the garage, I was telling Joseph. Joseph said, like, yeah, I'm 34 years old or whatever. And I said, he goes, but I've been jamming since I was 16.
Yeah, all of us.
And it's like all you guys who've been doing it for so long and never given up, like you never gave up your art, just like I've never given up Rob's. You're so, when you get to your 30s, you're like so good now. It's like you know what you're doing. You've come into your own. You're finally fucking. This is the word I use, honestly, when you find yourself and believe in yourself. I call that self-actualization. And I think a lot of musicians in San Antonio that I've interviewed recently, the Danella Drive guys, Roger Trevino, all these guys who are now 32, 35, you're like coming into your own. Like, I know what I can do, and I do it well, and now I'm fucking can do the best work I've ever done. And now it's like, yeah, I love all of it. And so that's why you're on Rob's, because it's good. I'm not the only one loving your shit. You guys are getting lots of positive press all over the world on Eternal Hustle. So talk a little bit about that. That's really cool because I see your sharings and I'm like, man, these guys are getting reviews here and there. A lot of people are also digging this record.
And that's all Kyle, man. And
Why do
good
you gotta have 2 beers in your hands, bro? That's crazy. See?
Southeast, you know what I'm saying? But that's all Kyle, man, with Good Junkie. Bringing him on our side, he's really helped push our record. We have people from Poland and like crazy things that I never thought, you know what I'm saying? And like he pushed them to those people and they really dug the record. Like the reviews were they're pretty humbling. I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty humbled by the reviews.
Oh man, they seem to all be positive.
And it was just like the detail that they were giving of our record was just like, wow, like yeah, exactly. And that's what, as a musician, that's what you want. Yeah. So it's like to see other people like listen to that, like it feels good, man. It really did feel good.
Yeah, you want people to listen to your shit. Let me pass the mic back there to Joseph because I know you're back there, Joseph, and I'm not forgetting about you. Talk a little bit about you. One of the things too that I like about you guys is like you're just not satisfied just playing shows in San Antonio. You guys have gone out. You go to you go to Laredo. You're going to other places. What's the reception been like going out there? How do you feel about doing shows outside of San Antonio?
I mean, personally for myself, I don't mind touring. I've had experience touring with other bands, working with Lone Star Drive-By. And a couple other, good hardcore bands that were here and metalcore bands here back in the days when we were building stuff up. Touring for us was that ultimate experience to be able to push our music out to other people in different counties, in different cities, in different states, and really kind of push our message. Right now, I'm barely starting to play bass for Fortunes. I was playing guitar for a band called Alive and Fighting, which I'm still doing as well. But really focusing more on Fortunes right now because the brutality, the heaviness, that hits the heart. I grew up with these guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We love each other, no. And it's great, just feeling that vibe, an actual, like you said, finding that correct vibe when you're in a band, like to push that full sound. I think we are really, really, really fortunate to have the people that we're working with together now, and I look forward to touring with you guys. Most definitely. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Yeah.
Oh God.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah.
God.
So like really, the way it started was, I'll be honest, San Antonio didn't really receive us, the way we expected. So we kind of came up with a plan that like we need to get out of the city. Like we just need to put our music in other places and see how they react. And our first out of town show was actually a show in Corpus Christi, and from 4 people. Yeah, right there. I think it's Boozers now, right? Boozers. So we were 4 people, but those 4 people that watched us got us to come back there so many times. And sometimes I feel like people don't want to do things. They don't want to do things because they feel like, there's only going to be 4 people there. But I feel like we've made our best connections in front of 5 people instead of 1,000 people. You know what I mean? And once we started getting out of the city, we started getting noticed. People in San Antonio were like, well, why does Laredo want to hear them? Why are they going to McAllen every other weekend? You know what I mean? We were grinding. We were grinding.
It was
Every weekend we were just getting out there. And after a while, San Antonio started to kind of receive us. You know what I mean? It was like, it took some time, but we got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the way it happens sometimes, That's what happened with Metallica. Remember? Metallica had to go to San Francisco to get big because they weren't understood in LA. Same thing here, And the point for me is that I'm glad that your guys are willing to do that. Like, go drive 2 hours to Laredo and do a show. And I was, I just interviewed Sons of Texas, and when I interviewed them, it made me think about the diversity of the metal scenes in Texas. Like you have Austin and Dallas and the Valley and El Paso. It's just because we're such a big state. It's a very big, diverse music scene. But I think there are scenes that you can cultivate to become huge hubs for fortunes. Now let's talk about the video. Oh God, the video for Southern Hustle. And I've had the video. Thank you, Steve-O, for sending it to me. I've had the video for a little while. I've jammed the video. I've looked at it. It's very well done. It's cool. It was done by Ruben of Upon a Burning Body of fame. And I think I posted about the fact that I love, that you guys are playing live, and my guitar is in that video. My soon-to-be guitar that Travis is going to give me as a memento. Just kidding, Travis. I'll buy it from you, bro. I really want your guitar. That blue camo guitar. But there's like some acting in there, and when I remember when I posted about the video, I used the word like some hood tendencies in there, and because you're buying and selling whatever's, and yeah, we're buying and selling music. We're not buying weed. We're buying CDs. Yeah. Yeah. It was CBD. So I don't want to give the video away either. But before we start talking about why the video is not fucking out yet, but let's talk a little bit about the premise of the video. Like, what was the plan going into the video?
So I had originally talked to Ruben at Bonds, and I feel like the whole art of hustle, whether, selling, other things, contrabands, whatever. I feel like the art of hustle, whatever you do, it's an amazing thing because it opens doors for you. You know what I mean? So it was just like I had this idea of using where we come from and the things that other people use, I guess, to get through life, whether it's right or wrong. And also show it as, like, I don't know how to explain it, like, doing what you have to do exactly to survive and to get through it. And that's how I feel about our music, because that's what we do. We survive and we get through it. We push.
I mean, personally myself, coming up with these guys and going through that song and feeling it, feeling the groove. I really enjoy it, pushing the message, that, we all hustle, man. We do what we got to do to, get ourselves to where we want to be, We're all comfortable, man. We work hard, all of us. We're all laborers. We're all fathers. Our pullout game's weak as fuck. I'm on the east side. But anyway, it's still weak as fuck. Yes, sir. But yeah, that just message, like pushing, doing what you have to do to get to where you want to be, and that's a big message that I feel that Fortunes is pushing right now, as well as the positivity of, unity. Like we're all in it together, man. We're all in it, working hard, pushing it to where we have to push it to get to that, limit of where we want to be, and I'm grateful, like I said, again, to be with these guys, doing these things right now, because music has been my life, for a long time. 16 years, over 16 years, and all of us, playing from even the smallest bands to the bigger bands that we were playing in, helping build this hardcore scene and metalcore scene, from where it was, in the early 2000s, it was a big metal scene.
Peacock.
Peacock Center, seeing Down to Nothing and Seven Angels, Seven Plagues at the Peacock Center at Woodlawn Park, that pushed me to where I wanted to be in the hardcore metalcore scene, just wanting to play guitar, it's awesome,
I'll be frank in saying I have not yet seen a Fortunes show in person myself. I hope that opportunity will come soon, because I know, we've all been isolated because of the pandemic, but what lies ahead? I mean, you guys, I see some bands, they're like posting like events on Facebook, like we already got a show in August, September. Have you guys done any of that?
Right now, I don't know if it's been canceled, but I think the only thing we have lined up is Denton, Texas.
Denton?
Yeah, right there, right outside. Yeah, right outside Dallas.
That's far.
Yeah.
I ain't going to Denton.
Yeah.
I love you guys, but I ain't going to Denton.
But right now, as far as locally, we really don't have nothing lined up. But I mean, I think our live show is what makes us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really makes us like when I get out on the stage, I'm not the same person.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the footage. I've seen how hard she gets off on the shows.
But
Cynthia? Yeah, I've seen how hard Cynthia headbangs at the shows.
yeah, to me, playing live is everything. Like it
Cynthia, I love you.
yeah, but playing live is everything, man. Like if you don't give it your all, why are you playing? You know what I mean? If you don't go hard every time you play, I could play in front of 2 people, 1,000 people. I'm gonna go the same way.
You guys are fucking young, man. Throw down every time you're up there. God, throw down. Gentlemen, what a great chat tonight. Anything I missed? Any last words that we want to share with your fans and people around the world tonight who are going to hear about Fortunes for the first time?
For me, I just want to thank everyone for supporting us through this release. You know what I'm saying, man? And I really hope that we can get back to South Texas, Corpus, Laredo, McAllen, San Angelo up north. You know what I mean? Like, we really, truly love playing in Texas. Those are, like, all our spots that have made us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Without those cities, we wouldn't be here. And, of course, San Antonio. You know what I mean? They always bring the violence when we play. They like to throw trash cans. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait. Like, playing live is what we do. And I really can't wait to get back to that.
Travis?
Yeah. We need that violence back. Fuck with COVID. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to play live again. Yeah, hell yeah. It's been a crazy year. We haven't played since when?
Man, I think the last thing we played
It was in December.
like Eric, right? With
Southside venue. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a crazy venue. I forget what it was.
tight.
But we got to see that band from Houston.
Southside's always crazy.
Shout out to Second Win from Houston.
Well, when you guys play again, I will definitely be there. I promise you that. I will be there. Kike, any last words?
I just want everybody to know that, I mean, I hope with this music, it just, if you feel a certain type of way, I mean, it gets you through stuff. I mean, that's why I love this music, because when we wrote it, it was like a way out, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way I feel, and I hope it gets people through it. I mean, if you feel a certain type of way.
That is something that only some of us have. That is the only outlet that some people have, and that's a great thing. Kike, I'm glad you made it tonight, man. Really, I am, dude. You're a cool dude, and I'm glad you were here to be part of this. Joseph, any last words?
Personally, for myself, I just want to tell everybody to keep pushing, keep doing what you're going to do, you know, keep fighting for what you believe in, you know. Everybody here, we all do that. You know, we all believe strongly in what we believe in. We take care of each other. We're brothers. Anything's possible, man, especially when you unite and put your minds together. You know, it's great, you know, and that's all I have to say.
I want to thank all of you for coming over tonight. I know it's crazy, you know, how busy we all are in our personal lives with our other responsibilities, and our love for music, and our love for supporting the scene, and our love for just being, you know, active in the scene is so important to us, and that's why you're here tonight. And I want to thank each of you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Steve-O, for bringing me the fucking cucumber beer tonight. God.
Shout out to my boy Abraham.
Thanks for the good drinks and the good company. Our night's not over yet. Remember, everyone out there, the brand new one from Fortunes, the EP is out. Eternal fucking Hustle. Oh God, Eternal Hustle. That title alone just says a lot to me. Like, Eternal Hustle. That's
you know, we were talking about that right now.
okay. So before we end out, exclusive info here. The the Southern Hustle video will be released on Rob's MetalWorks platform, probably within the next week or two, and it's gonna be huge. So be sure to watch. I love the video. Really cool, done again by Ruben from Upon a Burning Body. So be sure to keep your eyes and ears open for that. You're gonna hear all our notifications from the band and the Rob's MetalWorks page. Remember, everyone out there, the premier hardcore band in San Antonio is called Fortunes. You saw them only on Rob's MetalWorks.